All right, with JJ, let's bring in our two-time Super Bowl champion, Brian McFadden. B-Mac, all right, the obvious question is Green Bay right now, right? I mean, they were terrible against New Orleans. We thought this was a get-right game. Did they get all the way right, most of the way right? What did you like, what did you not like with the Packers coming off that 0-1 start?
Well, they got right on the offensive side. Aaron Rodgers looked like vintage Aaron Rodgers tonight. He was extremely comfortable. You saw him coming through in the clutch with big-time plays. His pass catchers were showing up. Aaron Jones had an unbelievable night, not just running the football, but catching the football out of the backfield. So offensively, they got right. I still have my concerns, EK and Jonathan, with the Packers' defense. I mean, they started off a bit slow. Granted, they played outstanding football in the second half, did not allow a point. But in the first half, I mean, Jared Goff started off on fire. It was looking like he was going to have a big fantasy night as well, based on how well he started off. But they made some adjustments. They clamped down and played pretty good football in the second half. But I can tell you this much, man. Aaron Rodgers, only 5 incompletions, 4 passing touchdowns, 255. You talk about efficient play. The State Farm champion showed up big time tonight on a huge stage.
Yeah, I wanted to see more out of that Packers defensive line. And I agree with everything that B-Mac said. Aaron Rodgers had a nice game, no doubt, felt good after coming off one of his worst games as a professional, and now almost having a perfect pass rating tonight. But I'm going to focus more on the Green Bay Packers defense. That outside of Kenny Clark, they got really no pressure on Jared Goff from the defensive line. We know that they like to bring pressure with their linebackers. They're missing Zadarius Smith, so they're going to have to find it elsewhere. I reported last week that the Packers were burning up the phone lines across the NFL trying to find help at linebacker via trade. They did not find that because so many teams were banged up with linebackers that they would have traded. And then in the back end, I think that we may have seen enough from young rookie Eric Stokes to take over the cornerback 2 position from Kevin King. We know that the Packers sort of held their nose and re-signed Kevin King this past offseason. He got burnt twice last week for 71 yards. Tonight, gave up 3 catches on 4 targets for more than 60 yards. I liked what I saw from Eric Stokes. He was the guy there at the end that prevented that backdoor cover. He only allowed 1 catch on 4 targets tonight, I think, for just 5 yards. And so that may have been the difference there in the back end. And then when you look at the front 7, they're just going to have to get more pressure from the front 4 guys because we know that Zadarius Smith isn't coming back for the next few weeks.
I think you nailed it perfectly with the defense. There was too many times and gaps in the game where they would go 3-4 drop back pass attempts and you didn't even realize that they were rushing anybody. I mean, he had all day. It just happened too often that they weren't getting pressure on Goff. And I think you're right about Stokes. I think they found somebody tonight.
Yep.
This was the kid's coming out party. He did a very, very good job. Now, other side of the ball, the Lions. Look, I know you got to play 4 quarters, but you got to start somewhere. They sort of played 2 quarters tonight, right? They played a very good first half. Their play calling was excellent. Goff looked very good. They got outscored 21-0 in the second half, but they played a very good first half. Is my bar too low? Am I giving them too much credit? They are an NFL team here, B-Mac.
Yeah, they're an NFL team, but let's keep it real. Over the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years, they've been bad. They've been bad, right? They've been a bottom dweller, not just in the division, but the entire NFC. So what we saw in the first half of play, we were excited. I know I was excited. I'm like, yo, Jared Goff is looking pretty good. The Detroit Lions are looking pretty good. And then they settled into becoming the team they've been over the last decade or so. It's going to be hard for any team to have success against Aaron Rodgers, especially when you're playing with your 4th, 5th string type players in the secondary. They already entered the ball game with young corners, and then you lose a corner. You have to make some changes in the secondary, the back end, and that really hampered their success in the second half. But they got to find out who they are. Jared Goff can play pretty good football. He's more than a serviceable quarterback, but they got to find a way to run the football better. They got to find out who their number 1 pass catcher is outside of T.J. Hockenson, and they got to be able to protect Jared Goff a little better. They didn't allow any sacks, 1 sack, but he was moving off his target point a lot in the pocket, trying to make things happen. And we know he's not at his best when he's trying to throw on the run. But this is a team that's going to have another very, very difficult year. On the primetime stage, they play 1 half of good football. Green Bay Packers showed their worth in the second half. And then next week, when you look at who they have coming to the crib, you got Baltimore. So it's going to be another long year for the Detroit Lions,
Detroit played a
especially with all the
good
injuries.
second half week one, a good first half tonight, but you got to play more than a half, right?
Yeah, you do. And with the Detroit Lions, B-Mac hit on it. All of the issues that they had in the defensive secondary, okay, I get that you're going to give up some points to Aaron Rodgers in this get-right game. But Jared Goff and, frankly, Anthony Lynn, who called a fantastic game really for about 2.5 quarters, but then there was that very questionable 4th and short call where they decided, hey, we've been whipping them up front for the first 2 quarters of this game. Let's go ahead, spread them out, shotgun, let's throw the ball. I didn't like that call, and it sort of felt like it went downhill from there. You had the fumble on the snap. That was all Jared Goff. We know he kind of has small hands, and they're kind of about it relative to NFL quarterbacks. He has small hands. So he had that fumbled snap. He had another fumble where the ball just slipped out of his hands as he was winding up. Fortunately for him, he was able to recover that. I think they punted after that, and then he had a very bad interception. So they had opportunities to put some points on the board. They just weren't able to convert. Dan Campbell made the right decision by going for it there on 4th down. I just didn't like the play call, and so there you go. That's how you end up with 0 points there in the second half.
Can't tell a story of this game without talking about Aaron Jones. JJ, you're first here. 23 touches, buck 15 yards, 4 total TDs. There's a difference between your best player and sort of your most important player. Aaron Rodgers is their best player, and the quarterback's most important position. I'm not suggesting otherwise, but there's sort of like almost as Aaron Jones goes, so might this offense go, because there's so many ways that he can beat you and hurt you and things that he can do. What'd you see tonight from double 3?
Yeah, nearly 4 yards per attempt on the ground for Aaron Jones. He's a guy who he can beat you in both ways, as you just talk about. But I really like this. When you talk about get right, what are you getting right for? You're getting right for the next game. It's the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, you can't bring back that New Orleans game from week 1. And yeah, you own the Detroit Lions. You don't want to overlook them, but we can all sort of be honest about who the Detroit Lions are, especially today being the youngest team in the NFL, tied with the New York Jets. You expected to win this game. Everyone expected them to win this game. You need to get right for the 49ers, for that defense and what they're going to bring. You need to be able to run the football, something that you didn't have an opportunity to do against New Orleans Saints, only having something like 17 offensive snaps in the first half before being boat raced there into the second half and not being able to run the football. So they got right from week 1 heading into week 3 against a fantastic defense in the Niners. And we also know what these two teams, the Green Bay Packers and the 49ers, the history that they have. I'm not talking about the 90s. I'm talking about, Aaron Rodgers being passed over there and how that game means more to Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about how the Niners wanted to give LaFleur a call and did give him a call back during the pre-draft process saying, hey, we're hearing that Aaron Rodgers may not be happy. What are you thinking about over there? So all of those things, I think, are going to play into this game. There's so many storylines around it. You want to make sure that you're playing good football. I think both of those teams are, and especially the Green Bay Packers coming off of tonight.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is very, very important. He's a valuable player. And I'm right there with you, EK. It seems like when he's clicking, the offense is clicking. And it takes some pressure off of Aaron Rodgers' plate as well, because now they have a balanced attack. They're not one-dimensional. And I'm right there with you as well, JJ. We're not surprised to see the performance from the Green Bay Packers. We're not surprised to see the performance from Aaron Rodgers against Detroit tonight. This is what we expected. That's why it was a double-digit line coming into tonight's ball game, because everyone expected the Green Bay Packers to get right against the Detroit Lions. But what's next? The last few times they traveled out to San Francisco, it wasn't a good ending. It wasn't a good beginning. So can they find a way to establish who they are offensively and defensively, especially at the line of scrimmage against a playoff caliber team, a team that has beaten them up over the last few meetings, especially in the postseason? So I'm really excited to see what we will see from the Green Bay Packers. Will we see something similar to what we saw week 1 against New Orleans Saints, or will we see something similar to what we saw tonight, this Sunday night prime time against the San Francisco 49ers? Because these are the teams that we believe will have a lot of say-so when it comes to January football in the NFC.
All right, well, I'm going to make you basically answer that question as we go full circle. We started with Green Bay. This was the get-right game. Right now, today, do you feel better, worse, or the same about the Green Bay Packers as when you did before we started the season? Night before we start the season, you had an opinion about Green Bay. Today, your opinion of the Packers, same, better, or worse? B-Mac.
I still feel the same. They just ran into a rat trap week 1 against the New Orleans Saints. I think they really overlooked the Saints based on everything they were going through off the football field, the adversities they were facing. But I think they're still a championship caliber team because they have a championship quarterback. They have a Hall of Fame quarterback that's dropping dimes week in and week out. And I think their defense will get better. You know, they got a new DC, so it's going to take time for both sides to understand each other, the player and the coach. So I feel pretty good about this team, but I can tell you this much, EK and Jonathan, this upcoming ball game will tell us a lot and what to expect from Green Bay based on how they perform against the San Francisco 49ers on the road.
Yeah, I feel the same, B-Mac. I feel the same as I did the night before week 1. And listen, the fact is the Green Bay Packers laid an egg in week 1, but they were going to have a bad game. They can have a bad game. It's just that it needs to be week 1 and not week 1 and week 7 and week 10 and week 12. Obviously, all of that is to be determined. They just laid an egg and they got behind, and sometimes those games get away from you. One of them got away from the Green Bay Packers last season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they finished out 13-3 and played in the NFC title game. So I will still like the Green Bay Packers. I'm not putting them into the Super Bowl, certainly not putting them into the Super Bowl right now, but I still like them certainly to win this division and play deep into January.
I actually feel a little worse, and it's not the offense. Their defense is not as good as I thought it was.
It's not.
I've lowered their defensive, their bond rating, AAA rated, whatever it is. I've lowered their defensive rating based upon what I've seen the first 2 weeks. Not on offense. I don't care about that first week. I'm with you guys. They're back. They're no pass rush. I know they found a corner tonight, but they seem like a good, but not a very good defense right now. I still have questions. I want to see them next week against the Niners. Well done, gents. Pack gets the win. And you know what? You may have one bad day. They never have back-to-back bad weeks. Look at this. You lose, Matt LaFleur comes back and gets you good. Oh, by the way, 5th straight game, Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns coming off a loss. So when they lose the next time out, Aaron Rodgers drops the hammer and the Packers drop you like a bad hat.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.